Hello, and welcome to our annual meeting for 2022. I'm Patti Gartland. I'm the president of the Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation.
And I'm Chair Myres, chair of the board of the GSDC.
Our hope and intent, of course, was to be able to hold our annual meeting in person this year. But as we all know, the COVID surge has changed that plan, and we needed to adjust accordingly.
So instead, we're coming to you from the GSDC offices in beautiful downtown St. Cloud to give you a quick update on many of the exciting projects undertaken and resources that have been deployed this past year. So Patti, what do you think the best and worst things were that GSDC dealt with in 2021?
Well, Brian, I think the best and worst were probably one and the same, COVID. While COVID dominated our planning and scheduling and caused us to do a lot of adjusting and shifting and navigating challenges, we persevered and we innovated, and with tools like Zoom, we were able to still conduct our meetings and we were able to provide an extensive amount of help and support to our businesses who are being affected by COVID so dramatically and at a very critical time for them.
No question about it, 2021 was the year of COVID, but it was so much more than that. And I think one thing that's really exciting as I think about the GSDC is how we've grown. I think through this whole pandemic, I think the GSDC has done some of its best work. Seeing the organization grow from just a concept 10 years ago to a great asset in our community today, I think that has been huge. Also, with a private sector focus, we've had this ability to move quickly and adapt as our world has changed over the past 10 years. And bringing together leaders and organizations for the common purpose of growing our economy and growing our area has really made a difference. So we have a great collaboration among the private sector, nonprofits, and government entities every time we do anything. So, and a tribute to all of that great work is the fact that the GSDC now has its all-time high level of investor participation.
And Brian, we have to thank you, of course, for your passion, your leadership, and your invaluable insights. So for the next 15 minutes, what we'd like to do is share with you some highlights from our 4 imperative areas of engaging leaders, expanding talent, growing business, and shaping tomorrow, and how we worked in those arenas over the course of the last year.
We will introduce you to some of our new investors and talk about the value GSDC continues to bring to our communities. Chat with some community leaders who have utilized the resources of the GSDC in amazing ways, and even show you some of the highlights from our 10-year anniversary.
So to get things started, we'd like to talk about jobs and labor force. One of the greatest challenges so many of our businesses face is workforce shortages and not being able to fill the positions that they have open.
That's exactly right, Patti. Labor concerns and workforce development continue to be at the forefront of business across the country. But here at home, one of our investors, Greg Windfeldt from PCI, really wanted to know how serious this issue was. So he reached out to the GSDC and asked us to take the lead on this urgent challenge that many were facing. I had the opportunity recently to sit down with Greg to discuss this issue and to talk about GSDC's role. Greg, great to see you again, and thanks for taking some time to talk to us about a big issue this last year. In 2021, you asked the GSDC to help with an urgent issue that was facing many businesses in our area. Could you tell us the results of that?
Yes, well, thank you for having me here today, Brian. Yes, in 2021, many of us, as we were getting back into expanding our businesses and returning to business, we were having a severe issue with recruiting talent and hiring and getting the employees we needed, especially more at the entry level area. As I looked at other businesses and talked to other business owners around the community, especially in hospitality and other areas like that, it was a severe shortage, and it was having a detrimental impact to their business, their ability to survive, their ability to operate. So I had asked the GSDC if they could assist in this, and they were very helpful in hiring a consultant to help survey. I think we surveyed almost 1,200 different businesses. Overwhelming, the result was that government programs, government subsidies that were in place were having, as far as the business owners felt, a detrimental impact to their ability to attract people to their business to help them thrive. Now there's many factors, you know, we're in a pandemic that has issues. There's child care, which is still a big issue in business today. But this was just one more thing. And so the GSDC was very helpful in gathering the information, managing the survey, and then trying to work with our legislators to see what kind of resolution we could get. So they did a great job in helping us do that. We've moved on. I think things have improved a little bit from where we were back 6-9 months ago.
Thanks, Greg, for taking some time with us today. Really appreciate it. Wow, Patti. Talk about speed to action on this one.
It sure was, Brian. But with the benefit of Greg's willingness to help lead this important work, we were able to recruit and convene a team of folks from a broad cross-section of expertise to work with our communications consultant to craft the survey, and then we enlisted our chamber partners from across the region to help distribute that survey and to promote broad, good, deep participation in it. And when the results were tabulated and the summary report was produced, we then shared that information broadly and used it to help inform and advocate a course of action to our legislators.
Well done to the whole team. And speaking of talent development, that continues to be a major imperative and focus of GSDC, and we've worked hard to bring resources like our talent portal JobSpot, creating the Around Cloud Tutors platform, the EPIC event to help introduce our future workforce to greater career opportunities in our region, and our regional marketing campaign, St. Cloud Shines. We have a great video that showcases our St. Cloud Shines campaign to share with you now.
In today's workforce environment, you need every advantage possible to attract and retain quality employees. Now there's a new benefit your company can offer, and it's absolutely free from the Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation. It's St. Cloud Shines, the go-to resource about our region's nightlife, recreation, culture, and more. Much more. People want to know what a community has to offer before moving there for a job. And St. Cloud Shines takes care of that for you, covering not just St. Cloud, but our entire area. So make St. Cloud Shines a powerful addition to your company website, social media, and other marketing materials. We're here to assist if you'd like. St. Cloud Shines. It might just make the difference for your future employees.
St. Cloud Shines is really making a difference by shining a light on all the great people, places, and things to do in our region. And while the education sector is a critical partner in talent development work, as you know, we have a number of nonprofit partners that have also been vital to the progress we're making in talent development. And you had the opportunity to sit down with President and CEO Mary Swingle of the Boys and Girls Club of Central Minnesota recently.
I did, and it was an awesome visit. Here is some of what Mary had to say. Mary, thanks so much for joining us today. I am so excited to get to share some time with you and hear about how the GSDC and the Boys and Girls Club work together.
Well, absolutely. I'm excited to share with you as well, Brian. As you know, I took over as the president of the Boys and Girls Club in 2018, and shortly after I started, we brought in a program called Career Start. And one of the things that we focus on at the Boys and Girls Club is really ensuring that all youth from kindergarten through graduation, we are working with them to develop their great future. So we start working with youth when they are in kindergarten on their career development. And where this comes in with the GSDC is, as you know, GSDC is so focused on developing tomorrow's business in our economy, and it aligns right along with what the Boys and Girls Club does. At the Boys and Girls Club, we would never be able to do and accomplish what we are doing through our Career Start in ensuring and building the career development for all of our youth without the partnership that we have with the GSDC in all segments of the business and industry. And those individuals have come in and they've been able to speak with our youth, they've been able to provide tours and hands-on experiences for our youth. So together, through our partnership with GSDC, we are able to develop tomorrow's leaders through the Boys and Girls Club. And this just wouldn't happen without the partnership that we have with the GSDC.
Well, Mary, I really appreciate your thoughts, and it's just so exciting to think about the possibilities of the future and the great work that you and your team are doing. Thank you so much. It's especially during these challenging times that we need to remain vigilant in our commitment to talent attraction and development.
That is so true, Brian. And as you know so well, although talent is a very high priority for the GSDC, it's also just one of our 4 strategic imperatives. And much has been accomplished in 2021 in each of those areas of focus too. The following video was created to share highlights from this past year.
During 2021, the Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation's 10th year of operation, we once again focused on 4 strategic imperatives to ensure the results we achieve together maximize the value your organization receives from us. When many businesses experienced devastating staffing shortages due to COVID-19, we commissioned a poll of area businesses to learn how extensive the crisis was. We used the survey's eye-opening results to press elected officials to take action that would support the business community.
They keep us abreast in a variety of ways, not only in-person meetings, committees, groups, but also e-briefings, emails, personalized phone calls even as a business owner. That has been really helpful.
Other GSDC activities in 2021 included hosting several CEO roundtables and community tours, which included various state leaders. Our JobSpot portal for employer-employee resources had more activity than ever in 2021, while our wide-reaching St. Cloud Shines online marketing campaign also continued to attract interest in our region.
So when I signed my contract to come work here at Great Theater, our managing director gave me the resource St. Cloud Shines to start looking for apartments or housing, just somewhere to live. And it was also great because I was able to see different events, I could see different school districts, I can see apartment buildings, apartment websites, all kinds of community engaging events as well.
Of course, one of the most important aspects of an economic development corporation is business attraction and job creation. The GSDC worked closely with rice companies and Coborns to show Associated Wholesale Grocers why this is where it should locate a major warehouse facility.
We knew early on that they were looking at multiple sites, not only in Minnesota but across the region. And we engaged with the GSDC to help us put some information together to essentially sell the benefits of Central Minnesota and St. Cloud, and to also identify economic incentives that AWG might be eligible for if the project moves forward. It was a big part of it. I mean, just the backup, the team, they were involved early on in the meetings, and the support that they lended to us going through the approval process. And together they can lend a lot of support, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of resources when other businesses or existing businesses are looking to expand.
The GSDC also highlighted our area's advantages during several Site Selector Guild virtual talks, and we expanded our role as a Launch Minnesota hub to assist innovators and entrepreneurs using pass-through grant funding from DEED.
We had the good fortune of being a part of both the ILT Academy as well as G-Beta, and both of those programs were hugely influential during some critical formative years for us.
So ILT is an incubator, so they helped us really get off the ground and figure out how our business needs to run and how we make it efficient. We actually joined in the 20-week program, so every Wednesday night for 4 hours we joined in ILT and worked on our business with other entrepreneurs who were going through the same struggles that we were
With G-Beta, we had the opportunity to go through a weekly program where they brought in experts to help advise on different aspects of starting a business. And we were also connected to many different investors and advisors in the region, including the metro area. So that was very beneficial for us.
Since a lot of those young inventors' creativity began as early as grade school, the GSDC wanted to make sure 2 years of COVID disruptions didn't undermine future innovation. Working with the United Way of Central Minnesota, we launched AroundCloudTutors.org to provide online tutoring services in several languages to area students at no charge.
After COVID and being out of the school year and not being able to meet with his IEP teacher from day to day like he would normally in school, he was falling behind. So we were looking into finding tutors for him, and his IEP teacher gave us the idea of Around Cloud Tutors.
To have easy access to a tutor is incredibly important. It's nice to be able to go to a site for free too. You know, a lot of families, I know there's limitations with money, not all of them can hire a tutor. So to have this free service where you've got these young, educated, excited students and older tutors too.
Also in 2021, we secured project funding for a Minority Business Enterprises Needs Assessment. In conjunction with the Initiative Foundation, we'll begin an in-depth assessment in 2022. Before we start the second decade, though, let's reflect on what we accomplished together during the first. Thanks to your support, all these things you see on screen and more have come to fruition. Plus, the GSDC grew from 65 initial investor organizations to over 150 today. We thank each and every one of you for making this all possible. Your generosity and input continue to be greatly appreciated. Remember that our team is your team. The GSDC's job is to help you and our region succeed. Here's to more combined success in 2022.
Wow, lots happening. And again, we want to thank the many people who continue to work every day to help bring our resources to the forefront and continue to deliver on these imperatives.
Brian, one of the topics you mentioned earlier was the great collaboration we facilitate amongst private sector, nonprofit, and government entities, which we continue to develop and grow. Can you talk a little more about these really impactful collaborations?
Yes, I'd be happy to. Probably one of our biggest collaborations with our governmental partners in recent years has been the work that we did to form the St. Cloud Regional Air Authority. We worked with Stearns, Benton, and Sherburne counties, plus the city of St. Cloud to make that happen. I had the opportunity to sit down with Dan Weber, the Assistant County Administrator of Sherburne County, to talk about this partnership. So Dan, thanks for being here today. A lot of people talk about public-private partnership. What does that mean to Sherburne County?
Well, I think the goal of every private partnership is to develop collaborative relationships that create win-win scenarios for everyone. And as someone who works for the public sector, we want to see businesses grow and thrive, but we also don't always have the connections to make that happen. And that's the role the GSDC plays for Sherburne County, is they're our facilitator for not only governmental agencies, but local businesses, nonprofits, and prospective businesses and employees as well. I've been in my role for about 7 years, and I partnered with the GSDC on numerous responses to nationwide site selectors. And I know when we partner together, we're always putting the region's best foot forward. And I think the best example of the GSDC and some of the value they can bring to an entity like Sherburne County is their recent work with the St. Cloud Airport. This was a 10-year initiative that involved 3 counties, a city, multiple federal agencies, and numerous area leaders. And the GSDC was at every meeting making sure things kept moving. As you know, the Regional Airport Authority recently became a reality, and it's a major win for our region that opens up numerous opportunities for the airport. And I just want to thank the GSDC staff and their members for their professionalism and dedication they bring to their job every day to ensure that our region is competitive. I think it's very important for us to have an entity like the GSDC to ensure that competitiveness. And we've been a member since day one. We still find value in that partnership, and I thank everyone for all that they're doing to make that happen.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan.
Sherburne County has been an amazing partner, and we so appreciate their support and engagement in our investor group. And speaking of our investors, I'm proud to announce that as of January 1st, 2022, our total number of investors to a new high of 156. We would like to take a moment now to officially welcome our new members. Thank you, and welcome to our new investors. You know something, Brian? One of the questions I often get asked is, why should someone join the GSDC? I, of course, have dozens of reasons to share with them, but as someone who's been part of this organization from the beginning, how do you answer that question?
I answer that question by asking another question, which is, what if the GSDC had never been created? What would have been accomplished in economic development over the last 10 years? And the answer is quite obvious. The track record speaks for itself.
Our board vice chair, Joan Schatz from Park Industries, also co-chairs our talent team, and she's a very big proponent of our talent development, retention, and recruitment efforts.
And of course, we all know that our education systems and partnerships are essential to our ability to cultivate interest and develop the skill sets required to meet our future workforce needs in the region. And those efforts need to start at a very young age. So Joan had the opportunity to sit down with District 742 Superintendent Willie Jett recently to discuss just that, education and the development of career paths.
Thank you so much for joining me for a conversation this morning about workforce development in central Minnesota and how you work with the Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation to do that. Willie, can you tell me how District 742 prepares students for careers in central Minnesota?
In the past several years, we formed a task force, and that's been co-founded by the GSDC. On that task force, we have community leaders, we have local employers, we have government officials, and we also have people from higher education. And then with that, that team helps us to inform our career pathways and the course offerings that we're going to have in District 742.
What programs exist to assist students in exploring careers?
So in District 742, we provide an exploratory experience for our middle school students, and we do that through our allied programming. At our high school, all of our 9th grade students, we encourage them to participate in a course it's called an EPIC course, and EPIC stands for Exploring Personal Interest Careers. And it provides hands-on exploration within the career wheel. Our course offerings provide that in-depth learning experience, and a lot of times the classes will end up offering internships, mentorships. There'll be students that get college level credits, or they'll be able to get certifications. And all of that basically happens by the time they graduate high school. Part of our mission statement, District 742 talks about today's and tomorrow's society. And the workforce that we're leaving here or that our students are going to experience when they enter the greater St. Cloud community or central Minnesota is something that's helping to be established by the GSDC.
Willie, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been really great to hear your perspective.
Well, Patti, I think we've come to the end of yet another virtual meeting.
Indeed we have, Brian. I also want to take a moment to thank you, our viewing audience, for joining us in this format. It's no substitute for being able to meet in person, but it is what's needed and in our collective best interests at this time. So, Brian, what should we be anticipating for 2022?
Well, we've learned we need to stay flexible. I want in-person meetings again, but no one can predict. At this time, we are still on track to be hosting our all-investor meeting in person in April. So please mark your calendars for April 7th, where we will honor the 2021 Innovation Award winners and the recipients of our GSDC Leadership, Community Catalyst, and Community Pillar Awards. So what's your goal for 2022, Patti?
Oh, I have many goals, but one of my biggest is to continue to remind the world of the advantages of living and doing business in our central Minnesota area. And thank you to our generous sponsors, US Bank and Century Bank, for making production of this meeting possible. And of course, thank all of you for joining us today.